Hi guys, my name is Karthik and I am from ExecuteAutomation.com and welcome to our second ExecuteAutomation Weekly video series. In our last weekly video series, we talked about a couple of questions like how to work with spec flow for larger project and is it required for testers to understand and work with Dockers. So we discussed about it and I also got so many responses from you guys, which is really great, and thank you for that. So as discussed in our last video, this time I'm really not going to be discussing anything about the questions which is there in the SurveyMonkey link. Rather, we are going to be inviting another team, which is nothing but the test project team, as I said you before. So the test project teams are really humble enough to talk with us this time. They are going to be sharing the product and also they're going to be share the new upcoming cool features which the team is going to be introducing next year. So we're going to talk with them. So they are going to be joining in with us online. So we can talk with them. So let's jump in and talk with them. Hi guys, so today I'm pretty excited to have our test project team with us, and test project teams are going to share us their pretty exciting new tool which is going to be launched by 2019. And we have already talked a lot about test project in our YouTube as well as in Udemy, and we have seen like a lot of people like you have already responded a lot about the test project. But this time we are going to have them, the CEO and the founder of the test project team, along with us, and the marketing head who is going to be talking a lot about the test project. So you might have seen a lot of her posts in our LinkedIn as well as in the other blog post in their own websites. So they are really, really informative, and we're going to have them talk in real time, and they're going to show us some of the pretty cool things which is going to be upcoming for the next release. So I'm not going to be really talking a lot about that. Rather, I'm going to flip back to them and they're going to share a lot about the test project with us. Okay, over to you guys. Thank you.
Hi, Karthik.
Hi, Karthik.
It's really great being here. We're really excited. Thanks for the intro.
Yeah.
I'm Karen, Head of Marketing and Community Relations.
And I'm Mark, the CEO.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start. So why TestProject? TestProject is a next generation test automation framework that built for test automation modern web, Android, and iOS application. It helps developers and test engineers to automate the web, Android, and iOS applications, both native and web application as well. TestProject is going to make simple to use of open source frameworks like Selenium and Appium, which are industry standard today. And it helps you to integrate them into your organization. So let's make a quick review what TestProject makes simple to do. So in terms of setuping your entire testing repository, you can use TestProject as a testing repository of coded and recorded tests for your entire team. You can set up it in minutes, and you can have this complete collaborative space of tests that you can use and share between your colleagues. You can record tests with TestProject if you don't possess developing skills. You can record tests for web, for Android or iOS applications. You can develop your tests if you possess developing skills, or you need to develop more advanced and complicated test case scenarios. As for today, we provide SDKs for .NET Core and Java. So if one of your developers in your organization possess one of those programming languages, it's very easy to use those SDKs to develop test automation. We use standard Selenium APIs, so you don't need to learn any new concepts or any new patterns of how to develop those tests. So anyone who is familiar with Selenium API can now develop test cases for web, Android, or iOS devices by using one of our SDKs. TestProject helps you to debug and run your tests anywhere across your organization. Basically, you can use TestProject not only to create the tests, but also to run them anywhere. We will cover the ecosystem of TestProject in the next 2 slides. I will show it how it's done. I think TestProject is one of the currently available frameworks that allow you to utilize reusable automation. Basically, we allow companies to upload add-ons, which are small test automation components that allow them to do certain actions. And in case those companies wishing to share them with the entire community, the others will have those capabilities in their test scenarios. So for instance, if Karen works in a specific company and she shares a capability of enable Wi-Fi on your device, and I work in completely different organization somewhere in another place, and I want to use this capability, and Karen is kind enough to share it, I can use this capability. It can save a lot of time and efforts because one of the main challenges in test automation that it takes a lot of time to develop the infrastructure, and most of the actions are very repetitive and used over and over again because we have similar components between different web and Android applications. So you can reuse those automation actions and you can collaborate them. You can call it a GitHub for test automation experts.
Cool. So basically you're saying all the record and playbacks and all the debugging and developing is going to happen in the Chrome browser or IE browser, right? That's the power of TestProject itself. So basically anybody can do anything from the browser itself.
Yeah, basically you don't need to install a studio or other heavy application on your PC. You can, as you said, record your test cases by using your browser on any platform. You can use Mac OS, you can use Linux, you can use Windows 10, and
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like it's a platform agnostic, so it can run from anywhere. And also, as you said, like there is a way that you can connect with your remote device, and also you can work with the remote device from a remote place using the browser. That's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. I will show you. I will show it in the next slides how it works and how it's get done. Correct.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, TestProject also makes simple to collaborate with your teammates because of a testing repository and the whole testing management happens in TestProject Cloud. Everyone who have the relevant permissions can access those test cases, and the collaboration with your colleagues or teammates is very intuitive and very easy. So this is something that exists in TestProject, and of course you get the complete insights and test reports. It also allows you to get a very detailed report about every and single test execution that you make, and you don't need to work hard for that. So we're trying to create a complete ecosystems around TestProject and around open source tools in order to use them in a more convenient and a more easy way.
Cool. That's awesome. Yep.
So let's review what are the powerful tools TestProject provides to you as a complete ecosystem. So TestProject is the first test automation framework that we believe provides you a complete testing tool chain. That means that you don't need to have any external tools in order to complete your test automation framework. So as for today, for instance, if I'm using open source or other tools, I probably need to have a JUnit, a Selenium driver, an Appium driver, Jenkins. We're going to trigger and orchestrate everything. And then I will need to create some reporting dashboards for my reports. And then I'm going to glue everything together. And it will take some time and efforts to create this framework. And then only then I will start to develop my tests. So TestProject provides you all of those capabilities within the single framework. From Smart Test Recorder that we discussed earlier, that helps you to record test cases, to reusable add-ons, which are reusable automation actions that shared in the community, through advanced and powerful SDKs, who helps you to develop advanced test case scenario, and through extensive analytics. So we don't force users to use all of those tools, and we don't force users to use a specific pattern. What is great about TestProject that users who are willing to record and don't possess developing skills can choose only the Smart Recorder and can work with Smart Recorder and still have the extensive analytics and the execution capabilities. But then we have users who prefer to develop their test cases, and they can also use TestProject SDKs with using a standard Selenium APIs, and also have benefit of extensive analytics, add-ons, and continuous execution, for instance, because with TestProject you don't need to have any other tools in order to orchestrate your automation or execute those test case scenarios. So those 4 powerful tools or domains that TestProject provides, it brings a lot of power and brings a lot of freedom to organization to choose their own method, from developing recorded tests to developing tests by using page object model and page object pattern. The choice is yours. Okay, let's go to the next
Cool.
slide.
I could see that you said in the previous slide that the SDKs that you support currently is for Java and for the .NET Core. So like,
Right.
so for the other I heard like you also have roadmaps or plans. I mean, I saw in your website that there are some other languages which is being supported. Can you just tell us like what are other languages which is going to be upcoming?
Yes. So next year in 2018, we're going to release Python SDK, JavaScript, and Groovy. So we're going to support additional 3 languages.
That's great. That's awesome. So basically, it's like in 2019, we're gonna have all these 3 different languages support, and also as you said, like they are gonna be like our own IDEs. We can use our own IDEs of choice, just like we have to bundle them up and then zip it up and then send it to TestProject. The rest of the things TestProject will take care for us to run the test, right?
Right.
Cool.
Even more than that, if some organization, even today when we support .NET Core and Java, you can choose your own language within the same organization. Developers can develop with Java or .NET Core, upload those tests to TestProject framework, and run them one by one. Basically, we are allowing run test cases who developed in different languages, programming languages, on the same framework.
Cool. So you mean I can write for a single test in Java, and if I am not familiar with Java, if I am very familiar with C#, I can still develop a module in C#, and then I can upload it as a component, and then I can chain it and use it together. You mean like that?
Right.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
great.
Yeah.
Great.
So the programming language is no longer a barrier.
Awesome.
Let's review TestProject Ecosystem. So TestProject Ecosystem consists of 2 main components. The first component, called TestProject Agent. TestProject is a cross-platform component that can run on any major operation system. You can use it with Linux, you can use it with Windows 10, and you can use it with Mac OS. It's operation system agnostic. And basically, it allows you to record, execute, and develop your tests. So basically, this component is running locally on your desktop, and it allows you all of those capabilities. It can run anywhere. You can, like, if you have a distributed organization with different offices around the globe, you can have one in the United States, for instance, and one in China. As long as this component connected to the same account, they will all use the same testing repository and the same collaboration space. The second component in our ecosystem, it's a testing repository, which basically a cloud-based service for all of those management and collaboration capabilities. So it's when you develop your tests, it's uploaded to the testing repository, and then you can manage the entire flow and manage the execution from there. So basically, if I develop a test case and I uploaded it to our testing repository, Karen can run it from a different location, and it will run locally on her local agent. So those two components in our ecosystem allowing test project users the flexibility of running tests everywhere and developing tests everywhere, upload them to the testing repository, and then run the tests anywhere they need.
Cool. So basically, this test project agent is a tool that I can download for Mac, Windows, or Linux operating system, right? I think I have seen this in your website that we can download it and we can install it, and then I can run it from anywhere, right?
That's correct.
Cool.
Yep.
That's awesome. So what is like the test project is gonna be doing? Basically, will it consume more resource, or because there are some companies I have heard from the community that why do we really require to install the test project agent? Why can't I just leave the test project agent uninstalled, and can I run the test in my local machine without having the test project agent? So let's say if there is any security restriction, or if there is a new image of the machine they have which doesn't really have test project agent, and if I want to install it in each and every machine, if I am going to create a new VM or something like that, so do you have any plan like a container or something like that where I can just have your own instance of agent, so that like a CI/CD I can directly run that?
Yeah, we have a plans to create a containerized agent.
Cool.
And release it to the GitHub. But we know that currently some of our customers already doing it. It's like they done it by themselves. Yeah, but we're going to release a container agent very soon.
Awesome. So the container agent is going to have all the supported plugins within itself. So I just have to install that container, spin up that container, and that's going to be like a whole machine for me, and I can just run that. Is it?
Right. Of course, you will need to cover the authentication as well. But for that, we provide API, a RESTful API. So if you are talking about a continuous integration flow, one of the actions that you will need to do is to make the authentication, basically to authenticate this container with your account, and then proceed from there. But it can be done through the REST API.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah. Okay. So Karen, would you like to talk about the pricing plans we have and the plans that we suggest?
Yeah, sure. So basically, our main plan, as you can see, or the most attractive one, I guess, is the free forever. And we don't just call it free forever for nothing. It really is free and forever. It's not something we will ever change, and it's kind of our way of giving back to the community. and it really has all of TestProject's core features and capabilities, and we could like go over a few of them. Basically, you have an unlimited amount of users you can have registered to your account, unlimited test executions you can execute. The entire reports are fully available to use. The Smart Test Recorder, which Mark mentioned, and all of its capabilities for recording web, Android, and iOS apps is completely free. And additionally to the CI integration, the add-ons library is free to access, our SDKs.
Yeah, I think, Karen, and about 95% of our users who use TestProject currently use the free forever options.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
It pretty much covers most of our users' needs.
So 95% are using the free forever plan, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you make revenue then?
So basically we're aiming for scale.
Okay.
And what the free forever option is limiting you for 5 agents, which is quite a lot.
Yep.
But some larger organizations need to have more. And if you need to have more than 5 agents, you will need to pay. It's about $8 per agent per month, which is also very affordable. And we're basically aiming for scale.
Cool.
Since we launched the product publicly about half a year ago, we have more than 1,000 customers registered already.
Awesome. That's
yeah,
great.
so there's a lot of interest and a lot of load is there.
Cool. I could see that free forever plan by itself has covered almost everything which anybody really requires. The unlimited test execution is one of the key. I think not every company is really allowing to give for the free plan because they restrict us to have like 500 execution cycle per month or something like that. But this is like unlimited test execution, which is kind of very, very key for this particular product. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yep. And of course, we have our enterprise custom plan, which basically goes from the enterprise and large organizations who sometimes ask us to help them to like make some consulting about how to make automation, how to integrate automation properly. So sometimes we help those organizations, and sometimes they have some special needs in terms of security or in terms of special use. So of course this plan is customized and per need.
Yeah.
Cool. Just for the viewers' sake, I'm going to ask the question. Like you're saying, for the enterprise custom plan. So if let's say for a company like a payment company who are very tight and secure in their infrastructure, they cannot put all their tests into the TestProject cloud. So if let's say they have some questions on how to deal with them, so do you guys do support or come into their office or something like that, not just like physically maybe, or maybe from the remote to support them more to make all the infrastructure things happen? So do you also do that in the enterprise?
Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah, exactly. We have solution architects
who
helps our enterprise customers around the globe to adopt a proper methodology of test automation and helps them to in terms like consult them in terms of as you mentioned how to make things more secure and how to store things, and beside it in a more wider perspective how to deploy test automation properly to organization.
Great. Yep.
Okay, sounds good. So Kartik, how about a short demo?
Sure, I'm pretty excited. Let's see a demo for that then.
Yeah. So Kevin will cover it.
Yeah. So let's switch screens here. Okay. So basically, we're going to see how it all works live now. Once you finished logging into TestProject and creating your new account, you reach our home page where basically is our testing repository. As Mark mentioned, you have here all of your projects, some of the cool new add-ons of the week, which you can even install right from here. And basically, let's just go ahead and created a quick demo here for Execute Automation, and it's all blank. So we can see how we are going to record tests, then how to create jobs, and kind of show how we kind of wrap all of the DevOps flow, and everything is incorporated within TestProject. And that's kind of the reason Mark said you really don't need any additional tools. You really do have it all here. And then kind of go maybe a bit about show you the developers page and add-ons to show you how you can enhance even further your recorded tests and make them even more powerful. So let's maybe start first with the agents part, which is one of the main components of TestProject, one of the components of our ecosystem, as Mark mentioned. Basically, this is where you can see all of your agents which are associated to your account. You can grant specific permissions to specific projects and see all of the information you need. And basically, as Mark said, the agents are what allows users to easily collaborate within their organization or even with clients from all around the globe. So now you can see my local agent is idle, so we can go ahead and start with a new test.
Great. So basically, I also saw there is an option in the test agents that if there is any new versions available, it is also showing that there is a new version available on the agent side, which is really cool, because we don't know what version is latest in that machine. We need to maintain that, and this particular option really shows that we are running the older version. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. You can see my colleague here, Marat, has an older version, and we suggest him to update it. Soon I think we'll also provide auto update for those who are interested in that.
So you mean if I click from here, if he's connected, his machine is connected, you can do an auto update from here, so his machine's agent will be updated automatically. Is that the way you're saying?
Today, it only indicates that you need to update your agents.
Yeah.
Yep.
In our roadmap, we're going to allow automatic update.
Okay, cool. Great.
So let's go to our project, start our new test. You can see everything is blank here because we created a new one. So we can either click from here or even from here. And I think I'll show you a mobile test because it's more interesting.
Yeah.
So basically, maybe the only thing you need to do is we have here a mobile device. We have our USB cable. All you need to do is simply connect your USB cable. And now you will see here on the screen that it here pops up that our device is connected, and you can even see here this little icon and kind of see an actual mirroring of your device, which is pretty.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah. And that's really cool. And that's it. Now we can start with our test. So let's mobile and give it a name, for instance, demo for EA, Execute Automation. As Mark said, we support both Android and iOS. This time I connected my Android device, so I'll click Android. And now we can create our new application. Basically, I think we'll test YouTube. See some songs there. the device which is connected, TestProject automatically recognizes it, so we can just choose it. And then now we will see here all of the applications which are installed on this specific device. So I can choose it from here and, for instance, search for YouTube.
Great.
Or,
So basically, this is querying the whole applications installed within your device on the fly, is it?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so fast. Yeah.
Yeah, but even if you don't have it installed, you can upload your APK or even add it manually.
Yeah, some of our customers use the upload APK option in their continuous integration flows. So the developers use the RESTful API in order to upload a new version of APK automatically. And that
Great.
project deploys this APK as part of pre-preparing steps before it executes the test automation.
Super. Yep.
Yeah. But in our scenario, to make it simple, Karen is going to test YouTube, which is already installed on this Android device. And
yeah. That's it. Let's hit record and start testing. Basically, now what will happen is we will see an actual mirror in browser of our device. So now it's launching the application we chose, which is YouTube.
Yeah, now maybe it's important to mention that we're covering the recording flow, which is more simple and convenient. But of course, as we mentioned before, you can also develop your test casing by using one of our SDKs.
Of course.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we can use Java and C# to develop the same test, is it? Cool.
Correct.
Exactly. So we have here a default step of resetting the application. You can choose whatever you want. And now, basically, I will show you all of the components we have inside our Smart Test Recorder. So the first one is the recorder widget, which actually, once you record your steps, all of the steps will be seen here. We could customize them manually. We can decide when we want to take screenshots, what's the behavior on failure, if we want to pause a step or maybe even repeat it. We have lots of cool options here. And the other one, of course, is the mirroring. And the inspector here. You can see we can inspect all of the elements on the screen, and we can even freeze it on a certain element. And now we can see all of the actions which we can perform on this element. Click, get text, tap. We have certain validations to see if it's visible, if it's clickable, and we can see their attributes. And we can even check if, for instance, if it would be an application we created, we could validate to see if we use the correct locator strategy. We can evaluate it, and here we can see it's YouTube did a great job. It's a perfect one match, but if there were many matches, it would write here like 3 matches and stuff like that. And you can even choose your locator strategy if you want to change it.
Cool.
Yeah, so let's just do a simple flow here. For instance, let's tap the search button and maybe search for TestProject.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Click OK. And let's click the first one, for instance. Let's play a video. And that's it. As you can see, all of the steps I created have been recorded here. And here we have one of, we can click one of the first videos, play it. And that's it. Basically, now we can pause the test, hit play, and we will see it will start all from scratch, launch the application, search, click the search bar, type test projects, and basically go over the entire flow.
Let's make it data-driven.
Yeah, so now
Wow,
let's
that's
a
really
bit
fast.
more, yeah, it happened fast. So now I kind of want to make it a bit more interesting. So instead of putting this hard-coded value of test project, let's erase that and create a new parameter to make a data-driven test. So let's add a new parameter. Let's say like the default, I mean the name would be the search bar because that's the one we clicked. And maybe, and the default value would be test project, but afterwards I'll show you how to upload a CSV file and kind of change.
By the way, Karen, I think it's important to mention one of the coolest features that we added as part of the community feedbacks. The feedbacks came from you guys. Thank you for that. Is to add a secret option parameters. Basically, when you make a secret parameter, when you make it secret, it will encrypt the parameter and its value, and it won't be available to the other teammates. So this specific parameter is going to be encrypted.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So anything like a password or sorry, I was just saying, like if anything like a password or some of the sensitive informations, we can use the secrets to encrypt it. Cool.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but in this case, we don't need to make it.
Yeah. So let's save it. Save the step, and that's it. We can save and exit our test. Now we can see our first test we created here. And in order to make it data-driven, let's download a CSV template, add our different parameters. So
yeah, basically it creates a correct structure according to the parameters that you have in your test. So you don't need to remember what names you gave to those parameters. It will download the correct structure for you, and here you can add any value that you want, in our case, to search on YouTube, and it will search it for you. So what we're looking for, Karen?
So I'm just kind of typing what's on my mind now.
Okay.
So I guess test project, as always, cookies, and Beyonce, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so let's just save it.
So basically, it also helps the testers to don't remember what the headings are. Actually, they don't really have to flip back and see what is the name that they gave for the parameter. So yeah, this template is going to be very helpful. Cool.
Yep. And now we just go to data sources here and add our data file. So let's call it the same name as our test. But we don't have to. I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah, it should be a meaningful name that will help other testers or other developers in your team to associate this data file to a specific test. So now Karen uploads the CSV she created to test project repository.
And now I can go back to my tests and jobs, and we could create a new job.
Yeah, but let's discuss a little bit about jobs.
Yeah, let's open this.
Yeah.
So jobs basically are an option for you to aggregate all of your tests. I mean, if I would have here multiple tests, you could simply drag them to a job and then execute that job to run multiple tests on multiple browsers if it was a web test, or on multiple devices if it's mobile.
Cool. So basically, job is like a bundle of commands that you're going to be executing. You can execute multiple tests at the same time, or you can run on multiple ecosystems. So you can name that in the job, right?
Yeah, except maybe one thing. It's one by one.
On the same agent.
On the same agent.
On the same agent. Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So you don't need to have any Jenkins or any other third-party tools that allows those kind of operation of execution for you. Basically, everything is covered here. So you can create a new job, and then you can choose the job type, whether it be a mobile or web job.
Yeah, now the cool part.
Yeah.
You could basically choose on which agent you want this job to run. So for instance, if I wanted to run on my colleague's agent, Marat, so I could easily choose his, and as long as it's idle, it will run on his desktop, which is not geographically located near me.
Yeah, of course we have implemented the security measures. The user who define and install the agent within the specific organization can choose if his agent will be publicly available or not. Publicly available for his organization.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I have a question here. So if you are choosing an agent here, and let's say the device is right now disconnected, the agent is now disconnected. So let's say for some reason, after some time, my machine boot up and the agent got connected. So will it suddenly pop up the test and start running, or how does it work? So will that be in the queue?
Yeah, it's a good question, Kartik. We have two different scenarios here. The first scenario is that the agent is up and running, but the device, the Android device or the iOS device is not connected. In this case, it just failed. It will tell you, okay, the agent is there, but I don't have a device connected, so I can't run. So it just failed. The second scenario is when the agent is not available, when the agent is disconnected, and then it's going to a certain queue, and once the agent is going to be up and running, it will run all the jobs that waiting for this specific agent.
Cool. So once he's connected online, it will run all the jobs for that particular agent, which is available in the queue.
Right.
Okay, cool. That's great.
Yeah. So for this example, Karen is going to run the test on her local agent.
Yeah.
A common scenario for that, most of our customers have developing the test cases locally and then running them on specific lab they have locally or remotely, the lab that they create. So they install like 5 or 10 agents on different machines, on Mac OSs, on Linuxes, on Windows 10s, and they have some like those worker agents who are waiting for jobs, and so they're developing tests in their local machines, and then the continuous integration and continuous testing happens on those dedicated machines with dedicated agents.
So now once I selected my target, you can see I can, if I had this other device of mine connected, I could choose that as well and basically run my job on both of these devices. But for now I only choose this one, hit next, and now is kind of another cool part, which I could easily just simply select my execution to be on demand. Or I can use this built-in scheduler to decide if I want to run it one time or even recurrently. So this is a complete full scheduler for me to say, for instance, I want to run this job every Monday at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, some of our customers use those recurrent execution capabilities to even monitor their production system. It's not aimed for that, but
okay.
They're running like test every 10 minutes,
just to see if their application is up and running, is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we like this feature because most of our companies, we try to see if our production system is up and running. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a cool
Yeah.
free tool available to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that thing
And
for us.
they're using TestProject reports to see, the scalability and see the graph, the velocity.
Yeah,
If it's running, what was the response time, etc., etc. But we're not aiming for that.
yeah.
If you want to do it, go ahead.
Yeah. That's
Cool.
what you mentioned before, that we enable freedom for anyone to use it for their choices. So let's, for instance, I'll just choose on demand, click finish. That's it. We have our new job here, and I can simply drag as many tests as I want to that job. You can see it here. If I had multiple ones, I would drag them as well. And before I hit play, I just wanted to show you another thing we added pretty recently, which is our notifications. So you could either add email notifications.
Maybe we'll add me.
Yeah, we could add Mark, for instance. Here I can see guys who are associated to my account. Oh, here it is, Marco Polo.
Yeah, and maybe we'll add Marat as well.
Yeah, let's add Marat.
So basically, it sends email notification and summary reports by the end of the job execution to the stakeholders within your organization.
Cool. That's great. So it's a complete CI/CD. We don't really even have to implement anything. It's all there out of the box in TestProject. Amazing.
Right.
Yeah, and maybe talk about the webhooks.
Yeah, for those who want to use webhooks, you can define the webhooks in your admin account.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, in admin account settings, you can define different webhooks, and you can also trigger a webhook by the end of job execution.
Cool. So the webhook is also available as a part of the job notification. Great.
Yep. And everything, by the way, both of those features are available in the free forever option as well.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Maybe we'll attach a data-driven CSV file.
Yeah. So you can see this stack of data-driven. Simply choose the one I uploaded before.
So this is the CSV file that we uploaded, right?
Exactly.
Correct.
Yep.
Cool.
And
Yep.
now you can see this small icon of database.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, it indicates that the test is going to be a data-driven. But before you execute it, Karen,
Yeah.
let's explain for users who don't familiar with data-driven what it is. So basically, we created a test to search for certain value. In the beginning, it was for a test project, and then we want to reuse this test, the same test, to search for different values. So we create a parameter, and we create an external CSV file with the different values, which allows us to use the same test. We don't need to record 3 or 4 or 5 different tests. We use the same tests because it has the same functional flow to search for different values. And this kind of explains what is data-driven is.
Yeah.
It saves you a lot of time, and it's a common practice in test automation.
Cool. So that's one of the part and heart and soul of the test project itself, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So let's run our job. Okay, and now another cool feature is you can actually see that it's orange here, meaning it's busy, and we can click this IARC icon to actually see the test, the job executing. So the first
that's
time
cool.
we'll see test projects.
So we don't necessarily have to go into the test and see what's really happening. We can see from here itself, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
Now we'll search for cookies.
Haha, nice.
The best kind. And the last one would be the queen.
Beyonce?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Let's wait for Beyonce.
Yep.
That's great. So in the meantime, while it is executing, I could also see that It is pretty fast, and it's too responsive that it is running so quickly, which is really great. So basically, can we see the report on the other side, like where the actual execution is happening? Is there any way that we can see the report?
Sure. Basically, we hit on reports.
Yeah, let's wait for this for a second.
We can wait for it to finish.
But, yeah, but we can discuss the dashboard. And
yeah, we can discuss the dashboards in the meantime. Basically, as Mark said, you can see in the main screen, you can see the velocity of the tests you executed from all of your projects across different periods of time. You can change it to maybe your sprint time or whatever you prefer.
Right.
And then you can drill down to each and every project. So just a sec.
Let's take a demo project. Let's take the execute automation project that we created, for instance, or a demo project.
Yeah. Okay, so now we can go inside of our project, demo for Execute Automation. We have one job here, according to what we just executed. And we can see here a lot of cool stuff. The first thing is we can see that some of our steps failed. And in a moment I'll show you why, and it was kind of intentionally. We'll show you just why. The other thing is you can see on which device it was executed. And for instance, if I would have executed this job on multiple devices, I would have seen them all here. And since this is a data-driven test, I can also see all 3 iterations I executed. So the first one obviously completed successfully. All steps executed as we expected. The 2 second ones failed, and let's see where. Basically, we can see we typed cookies, everything was good, but then it was tapping for what we previously in the first iteration looked for, which was TestProject, the first video. So we can see on the screen it's cookies. Yeah. No TestProject here.
Yeah.
So basically it's trying to click the TestProject there instead of the cookies. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So we need to make that as a data-driven parameter as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
We need to make sure that this step using the data-driven parameter as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
And the same goes.
But I could see that there's a cool screenshot, and it also shows the message to the people, like why it has failed. And
yeah, we can see element could not be located, which is great. We can easily troubleshoot our errors and go back to the test and revise it.
And we have the screenshot as well.
Yeah, we have the screenshot, and the same goes for Beyonce. No luck there, no test project on Beyonce's screen. We can kind of see it even closer. And another cool thing is you could show only the fail steps. So if you kind of want to pass it on to your manager or anything like that, you can only show the fail steps. And I guess that's pretty much it for the reportings. It really does give you a whole in-depth insight for all of your test steps one by one. You can see how much time it took to execute it. You can see the errors if needed. It really is.
Yeah, you don't need to work hard in order to create your reports. I think one of the challenges in test automation is, okay, I have the WebDriver, I have the Appium driver, but how I reflect test execution, how I create the reporting tools, and how I build the reports. So here in TestProject, everything is integrated, and you don't need to be a worry about your test reports. It works for recording, it's work for SDK as well. You have our assertions there, and so everything is integrated, and you don't need to work hard to create your beautiful reports here. Maybe we will go to a developers page as well.
Exactly, my next plan.
Yeah.
Cool.
So here is our developers page. The first part is our SDKs. You can see we, as Mark mentioned, we support both Java and C#. You can download the SDK, and you even have some quick start guides in our GitHub page. And the other option is our API. We have an interactive Swagger documentation, which you could trigger basically anything.
Yeah, we can show that.
Yeah, we could show it. I'll just click it.
Great. So now you have a complete API integration as well.
Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly.
So here you can see all the actions that you can do with your agents, with your applications, and with your jobs, projects, reports. You can download your report in JSON format. You can trigger jobs. You can do whatever you want. And here you can see what available in free forever option. And those actions are indicated as free, and which operation available in a professional plan. As you can see, the triggering job also available in the free version.
Cool, cool. I could see that it's really a really great option.
Okay, so once we are covered the API functionality and what is in the pro and or free versions, let's go for another interesting part that we discussed previously, which are add-ons. So add-ons are the reusable automation actions that shared by entire community, shared by TestProject, and it categorized based on its popularity, based on who shared it, whether it was shared by the community or by TestProject. So a lot of users ask us if I upload an add-on to my account, if it will be publicly available to everyone. So the answer is no. Add-ons who are uploaded to your account will be only available for your teammates, for your colleagues, for those folks who have access to your account. But if you're nice and if you're willing to share and contribute, and this add-on doesn't have any malicious or any IP related information, you can choose and try to share it. We have an entire process before we approve those sharing requests. So for instance, if Karen developed some cool feature, cool add-on that she believes can be beneficial for the entire community, she is willing to share it with the entire community, she will share the add-on, and before it will be shared, it will go to our internal review, and then we're making some out checks and we're making some internal code analysis and static code analysis on this add-on. And only if we approve and we find this add-on beneficial for entire community, we allow him to share it. So there is a process of who allowed to share add-ons and which add-ons are shared. So for your question, guys, no worries. If you upload add-ons to your account, they're yours. No one sees it. It's only for you. But if you're willing to share them and it completes the entire process of sharing approval, it will finally appear here.
Cool. So is there any place that we can see the complete checklist of security compliances that you guys go through, so that we can see like what else that we need to add and what else we should not add for an add-on, like there is any best practices or something like that?
Basically, we take it individually. So of course you don't need to add things in purpose that can harm others. And it's important to mention that each add-on running in a sandbox, so it has quite limited capabilities, and it's running in a controlled environment. And each add-on also shows its own manifest. So before you upload your add-on, you will need to explicitly mention what resources this add-on is going to use, just like an Android operation system. So, for instance, if this add-on is going to use networking or a local disk or just a browser or any other resource, the developer of the add-on should mention and should allow it in its manifest, and it will be reflected to those who's downloading those add-ons as well.
Great. So it has all those security
Yeah.
questions being asked even before that. Cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
So for instance, here we share the quite useful add-on, which is a RESTful API client, which basically allows you to send and make all the famous REST operations, which is get, post, actions. And as we can see, there are some people already read this add-on, and we can see how many downloads it has. And basically, others are already using this add-on in their recorded tests. So add-ons can be used in recorded or coded tests. We're not
Cool.
limited. Yeah.
That's great. So this add-on, the whole idea of this add-on is like sharing at the same time using the existing test project own add-on, and at the same time it's going to be like a module which I don't really have to reinvent the wheel. I can straight away use the one which is developed by the community, which is great.
Yeah. For instance, we have this Element Finder add-on, which has had about more than 100 installs already and some rating. And here you can see the add-ons which are installed. And here you can see only my add-ons, which is only available for me for this account. So basically, as I mentioned before, you don't necessarily need to share those add-ons.
Great. Cool. So it seems like there's a whole lot of things in the test project, and yeah, thanks for the demo, Mark and Kiran. It was really nice.
Sure.
Thank you, Kartik.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Kiran, and thank you, Mark. So it was really a great demo, and I could see like we have so many great things on the test project, and it seems like it almost elevates the CI/CD process. The CI/CD process are there inbuilt, and it has their own capabilities of extensibility. So yeah, there are so many things, but there is one thing which I would like to ask before we close this this demo and session, is that I could see like a lot of people are going through AI and people are talking about AI a lot. So do you guys have anything like any plans of artificial intelligence, machine learning to be incorporated with the test project, which makes the other products to be envying your product more further than what it actually has? I think it already has all the capabilities, but just that people are more inclined towards AI. So do you guys have any plan on that?
Yeah, actually, it's a good question, Kartik. We are working from day one to enrich this platform with AI and machine learning capabilities. It takes time and efforts, but we believe that in the end of 2019, we will add very extensive and powerful features to test projects in terms of AI and machine learning tests. It will help developers and test automation engineers to cover more functionality, to get a more extensive coverage of their product without writing a single line of code. This is the first line of development that we're working on. And the second capability that will be implemented even earlier is dealing with lab management and test execution. For instance, if you have a specific test case that you want to execute, but you don't necessarily know who are the most suitable or which agent are the most suitable for this job, TestProject will help you to decide who is the most free and which are the most which of the agents have the most available resources and appropriate resources for this test. So basically, if we can see before, when we created a job, we associated with a specific agent, which we knew in advance that possess those specific capabilities. In the next generation, when the machine learning and AI capabilities will be integrated in this part, you just will be able to run the job on most suitable agent, and it will choose automatically when to run.
Cool. So it's more like a automatically. It's more like a Kubernetes or container management where it knows like which machine is almost available. So it just falls over there and starts working from there. Awesome. So there is a roadmap for AI and there is a roadmap for lab management, which is really great. So we are looking forward for seeing all those cool new features coming up in TestProject, at least for 2019. So I think that's great.
Yep. Cool.
Great. Thank you very much for this demo, Mark and Kiran. So you guys have a happy New Year, and soon I could see that there are so many exciting things coming up.
Yep.
Thank you, Karthik.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. See you then.
See you.
So that's it, guys. This is the demo, and you could see that the team has really shown us the whole product walkthrough. They also told some of the cool things, like they have introduced the C# .NET Core support, which is really, really cool. Now we can write the test project code with the C# SDK, which is really awesome. At the same time, they have also spoke about the artificial intelligence, which is going to be incorporated into TestProject, which is really, really cool, because I was really thinking as a tester that if we have this feature within the test project, it is going to be making our life much easier and much efficient. So I guess the artificial intelligence introduction within test project, and that too for a free tool, we are going to be very, very lucky with that. So that's it, guys. So this is our ExecuteAutomation second weekly video series. We are done with that, and thanks for the team who have joined with us. In our next week, we are going to be talking about the SurveyMonkey link questions that I have shared with you guys right now. So please go ahead and rate it so that we can talk about it like how we did in our last video. That's it, guys. Once again, thank you very much for watching this video and have a great day.